Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. It's been a couple days since I got a chance to do one of these. I'm glad to jump right back into it though, as we do have EvilZoe in the top left taking on BenBot. And there's usually a reason why I cast one of these matches. Like any match in particular, something catches my eye. And the thing that caught my eye was that EvilZoe has been looking pretty good on the ladder, being top 4, I want to say it is right now, where I think it's usually been like 5 or 6 perhaps. So EvilZoe doing very well. And then of course BenBot is always a hoot to watch. We have got a tag Barracks Bunker Rush Bosbum by BenBot. I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, though, BenBot is a bot that is known for going for a bit of a cheeky proxy, trying to contain the Zerg. However, on a map as big as Equilibrium, I guess that's not really going to get off the ground. However, it is double racks, so there is the potential for the aggression to hit EvilZoe hard. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one though, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, you guys are the best at it in this little corner of YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below if you enjoy these botcasts, what you had for breakfast, or what you're gonna have for dinner. Although if you're anything like me, it's a last-minute decision. Now, we do have a third hatch on the way for EvilZoe, so could be in a little bit of trouble. However, I mean, this is a very delayed bunker rush, 2 minutes in. I mean, the hatchery's already done, and there's already lings on the production tab, so I'm not sure that BenBot's going to get this off the ground. However, we do have an Overlord being shot at, and EvilZoe not having any escape behavior for that. Overlord drones, however, are coming to try and save the day. They're going to try and kill that SCV before the bunker gets up. That's a very important thing to happen, and we do have that bunker being cancelled. Looks like EvilZoe is actually hard targeting the bunker, trying to shut it down, as opposed to killing the Marines that are just gunning away on its units. It says there was a chat tag to resume the building of that. And oh man, this could be really problematic for EvilZoe. Like, if an SCV now does come and repair that bunker, that will be very problematic. EvilZoe is going to try and cancel that bunker. It does successfully get it. It costs many lives. However, looks like the rush is being shut down effectively. A very delayed spine crawler does go up. However, the couple of queens and lings should be pretty good now, as yeah, EvilZoe seemed to be in a good spot to hold it, and hold it did. It did take quite a bit of damage. Right-clicking on that bunker, it's an interesting strategy by the bot author. I mean, killing the SCV makes sense as a priority. I'm not sure about actually trying to kill the bunker versus chase the Marines down. However, I'm sure there's been some thought put into that. The Overlord survived. That was also very important. EvilZoe is investing very heavily in static defense now. And we actually do have BenBot going into a bio play behind this. So BenBot not just rushing out a battlecruiser like it's known for. So it is going to be potentially getting more aggressive down the line. And so I was just looking at that because will these spine crawlers be useful or not? If it's a heavy bio play, they very well could be, as we do have roaches on the way for EvilZoe, but its economy is in a bit of a rough shape. But then again, BenBot did delay its own command center quite a bit. EvilZoe is a bot that I don't think rushes up to workers as fast as, say, Eris. Playing with more units and that kind of thing. We do have that burrow on the way, though. That will be very important when it comes to defending potential aggression. Let's make sure we got that music going. No, the music is going. And then, let's see, factory on the way for BenBot. So we'll eventually be able to potentially get into that late game mech tech. However, this is very heavy bio play from BenBot. So I'm guessing that's what the bosom means that it put in chat at the start of the game. Heavy bio, perhaps. It is cool to see that these bots do have new developments though, new builds. The Pro Bots ES Champ tournament is very important when it comes to that because it makes the bot authors adapt their bots, as they're always hard countering and sniping each other. Now we do have a lair on the way for EvilZoe, so it is getting up that tech. There is a handful of roaches out, literally just 3 roaches actually to defend this, and BenBot is moving out for a big old timing attack. If you're a Zerg right now is when you're thinking, oh man, I hope I have Banelings. However, Banelings are basically non-existent in the bot scene due to, of course, machine like splitting. And now we do have roaches engaging this bio potentially. There is no stim on this bio, so the damage will be reduced a little bit. It looks like an Overlord will perish. EvilZoe fighting in front of these spine crawlers will be very important. There is not energy, though, for a transfuse at all. Queens and roaches are engaging this, though, and it's a nice concave. The injured roaches can, of course, burrow and be kept alive, and this is where Zerg gets its strength in the botting scene. And look at that, yeah, not a single roach dies, and the bio attack fails hard, it looks like. It was looking potentially a little bit dicey, but, I mean, going for a timing attack as a Terran against a Zerg, programming this, like, I mean, roaches are just such a hard counter to everything. There is the scan, so we do see a single roach go down. However, keep in mind that that means the Terran paid the equivalent of 250 minerals to kill a single roach. And so the Raven that's on the way for BenBot is absolutely paramount. EvilZoe did hold on. It is down on workers compared to BenBot. As I said before, it prioritizes more units, it seems, than other bots. BenBot also getting up to 3rd. Siege tanks on the way for BenBot, Raven on the way. That's very important. And yeah, looks like EvilZoe is in a pretty decent spot. We'll see if it's going to get aggressive on the other side of the map, as it is gobbling up quite a few of these Terran units. The Terran units can skirmish all they want, but they're not going to get kills. And so, yeah, it's best for BenBot just to skedaddle on home. This Rax is in the center of the map. It's not doing too much. We do have Stim Pack on the way. For the Terran bot, that's cool. That's not something we always see. However, the Terran bio is out on the map. The Raven is now grouped up with the bio. This is very important. The Raven staying with this bio so it can ensure kills on these roaches. And EvilZoe doesn't even try to burrow the roaches when a Raven's near, which is cool counterplay. Make them at least fight as much as possible. But yeah, that was a really big swing for BenBot. How well the bio does when it can actually kill the roaches. We're seeing EvilZoe now pivot into what it's known best for, which is Ling run bys. As it fires up a bunch of these Zerglings, we'll see if it's going to have success with that or not. So far, no planetary fortress at the 3rd. If BenBot goes for a planetary against EvilZoe, I think that would be very, very good for it. As, of course, Ling run-bys don't historically do very well against planetary fortress unless they're just like 53-3 adrenal glandlings. The Raven's still securing kills, so EvilZoe having a bit of a hard time. The planetary is getting established, mules being dropped. And so BenBot's economy is looking better than its Zerg opponent. 4th and 5th are on the way for EvilZoe, however they're quite delayed. The drone count is still very low. And EvilZoe is going to have to take a defensive fight. It's going to have to take at least well enough of a trade to push BenBot back so it reconsiders this attack. And so far it's got a good angle of attack. Not many roaches are going down, as it looks like BenBot's micro isn't the best. Like, these bio units are retreating. However, the roaches are doing very well against them, but it looks like it's more running than shooting, so the damage is actually greatly reduced. The Raven is not with this force, so those roaches actually stayed alive when the fight did happen. Where did that Raven bugger off to? Looks like it went all the way back home to get repaired on up. No, Raven, you need to be on the front line, son. There is no retreat for Ravens. We do have EvilZoe going up in tech, in workers, up to 3 hatcheries building at a time. I love to see that. A Lurker den's on the way too. BenBot is still playing primarily bio, which is not something I've seen it do this hard before, I don't think. No battle cruiser on the way. BenBot is BenBotBC, but today it is BenBot Marine Marauder Tank, like a respectable Terran. And as someone who just battle cruiser rushes most of my games, I can say that bio is more respectable. So We do have EvilZoe holding on. It defended that attack. It's got a good amount of roaches versus BenBot's bio. Supplies are fairly close as far as the army is concerned. There is Stimpack 2, anti-armor missile as well. Will really help out against these roaches. Anti-armor missile affects roaches a big deal because it removes their natural armor. As now the bio stims after this. There's even Medivacs to heal up this bio. So what a game this is between these two. 4th command center going up for BenBot. We see a big worker transfer. There is now a fusion core on the way for BenBot. So we could be seeing a bit of a later transition. Nice cornering on these Lings. Going to kill off a good number of them to deny the run-by of EvilZoe. EvilZoe going for another attempted run-by, however. BenBot going to shut that down with ease. The bio is quite stimmed. However, the Medivac presence will heal it up. More Lings trying to run by. More Lings getting deleted. Nice defense by BenBot. The Terran's army supply is shooting up, however, it will get a little bit scary, as it's not easy to program your Terran army to use Stimpack, and then not easy to program it to engage into Lurkers and Infestors, which is what EvilZoe is having. However, one Lurker does just randomly wander forward, so that is easy pickings. The Ling run-bys are constantly pulling BenBot back. This is one of the strengths of EvilZoe. Even if it's not going to win a head-on fight, it can potentially just cause BenBot to derp out with these constant counterattacks, and that's what we're seeing. However, the Lings, or however the tanks for BenBot sitting back at home are doing very well. We see an attack going to be trying to kill off this hatchery. It looks like it will be cancelled. There is a couple of Lurkers out, currently just one actually, a second one on the way. So EvilZoe definitely needs to make more of this tech. This is a great game between these two so far. And well done by the bot authors. We do see an attempt at a 5th base by BenBot. There is a burrowed Ling there, though. So that's something that's a bit of a pain for the Terran to deal with. We'll see if it does successfully deal with that. And yeah, it did. The Raven just happened to cross by. The Zerg is building up more and more Lurkers, getting adaptive talons, which is very important. Allow those Lurkers to burrow quickly. Move faster, and now we're actually seeing a big attack by EvilZoe, catching BenBot off guard a little bit. We'll see if it's going to be able to break this planetary. Most of these bots are good at targeting the SCVs, and we are seeing that. The Lurkers are burrowed on top of this army. There is minimal anti-battle cruiser, though, and the first BC did pop for BenBot. Lings are coming on in. They're not going to get much done against this. Can the planetary at least be killed? Lurkers are, I think, spining the planetary. There is Ravagers. However, the BC is going to kill them off with that Raven support. However, the base does perish, so a big attack by EvilZoe does actually get some work done. Lings run on in. However, they're going to want to run on out as that planetary's IBEC cannon, I think it's IBEC. What's it called? Oh, it's not making workers, or I'm never going to be able to click on it, BenBot. Oh, it's not meant to be. I'll see if BenBot ever stops making workers this game out of a planetary, but you know how these macro bots are. So BenBot loses a base. That's a nice move. It's going to want to get another one up as soon as possible. The bio is very stimmed for BenBot. Those stims really adding on, so I mean, it's pretty good stim behavior we've seen. However, it is a bit concerning to see how red this bio is. Lots of Lings are running around. They are just going to target the SCVs at this planetary. Who cares about the actual planetary? And they are going to kill them off. I mean, the bot can target those down a lot easier than a human can, all the while there's an engagement. Lots of Ravagers getting picked off, so EvilZoe losing the main fights, but finding success elsewhere in this game. Hydras are now on the way, 3-3 on the way, so the upgrades are looking good for the Zerg bot. The problem will potentially grow, though, as the battle cruiser count grows, so that's why these Hydras are needed. But if you're in agreement with me that Hydras are not necessarily good against battle cruisers historically, we've seen them have not the most success against mass BCs. However, there is the Infestors, so that could be big. We'll see how well EvilZoe can contend with this army. It's doing a good job managing its economy with a very high worker count. Are we going to see another hatchery get established sometime soon for the Zerg bot? I'd like to see that. Lings coming on in once again, killing off lots of SCVs. There's a lot of bio here. Lurkers are getting set on up, however. How well are they going to do? Looks like there's a neural parasite on one of the BCs, but the support is not there for it. so it's kind of just useless. Yamato Cannon gonna delete that Infestor. And so EvilZoe is taking the much worse trades this game. If we pull up those resources lost, about 20k to 11k, a very nice positioned Lurker, however, and that's going to be able to kill off lots of SCVs, harass the space, deny mining. Looks like BenBot did secure up multiple more locations, though, so it's not exactly strapped for cash. Ling's running on in. Not going to get too much done there, though. And yeah, this is a great game between these two. I think things are trending the way of BenBot, as it's still staying maxed out. It's still got a decent bank to its name. The attacks from EvilZoe are relentless, however, and there's a big group of Hydras coming on in. The BCs do have just +1 armor. Yamato Cannon's going down, killing off Overseers, and with the bio support, the Hydras will have to skedaddle on out of there. Equilibrium really giving us a great match. The size of it, preventing these bots from easily killing off their opponent. However, we are seeing BenBot now move in for an attack. As I say that, though, a Ling run by being a bit of a nuisance, pulling BenBot in multiple directions. The Medivacs are working triple shifts to try and keep this overstim bio alive, and they're doing a pretty darn good job. Lots of battle cruisers are out. There is siege tanks sieging on up. Infestors are moving forward. They unsiege in range of the tanks. That was the worst micro I've seen on an Infestor. The Hydras deal with the tanks rather handily, however, the Infestors got deleted first, so a little bit of crossed wires there for EvilZoe. It seems going to need to remake those Infestors. There is no pathogen glands either, so that means that it will be a bit before they have significant energy out. Looks like another Ling run by being attempted. The planetaries, though, for BenBot, worth their weight in gold, and we can actually see it. Yeah, it's the Ibex cannon, that killer thing sitting on top of that house. Income Lurkers, income Hydras, gonna potentially try and break this planetary location. This is looking like a proper ZVT. The Zerg trying to shut down the Terran expansions while the Terran builds to the Doom army. Raven's getting killed off, so scans are forced out. Battle cruisers do become hostile, though, as neural parasites go down. We also see a couple of Lurkers still set up here. As the bio chases after this, there is no scan to kill off these Lurkers. And so BenBot's going to need to deal with that. Is there a Raven out still? Yes, there is. It's back at home being repaired. The counter pendulum swings, though, as BenBot is looking to attack this location. Neural Parasite goes down on 1 BC. However, it Yamato Cannon the Infestor, so it kills that off. SCVs are repairing this planetary fortress non-stop. It's draining money out of BenBot's bank. However, we'll see if these Lurkers do ever get dealt with. There's the scan, actually. Beautiful by BenBot to have the behavior to save its base, shut that down. Better late than never. And yeah, things are looking mighty rough for EvilZoe. It looks like it must have neural parasited a battle cruiser somewhere, as it did actually kill that one off, and that was actually the first BC to die this game. So it goes to show how good BenBot is at keeping its battle cruisers alive. In comes EvilZoe trying to break this planetary. It's got so much damage from the +3 Hydras. The attack actually just pushes on in there as fast as possible, and it works out pretty darn well, killing that off. Another BC under pressure. Teleport does come off cooldown, though, and it does escape. We see another attack towards this southern location. Killing this off is actually big, knocking out 2 of the Terran's bases. Can it actually get it, though? We shall see. Yes, it will. EvilZoe's attacking behavior is fantastic. It's like an Infestor almost got Yamato Cannon, did escape. However, I do like how BenBot is constantly using that Yamato Cannon. Just, it's guaranteed kills, guaranteed resources lost, and so that is awesome. EvilZoe attack results telling us them there, 37. I'm not going to read that out loud. However, I think the attacks have been pretty good lately, as we can see. The Terran bot is still getting upgrades. However, it's +2 ground attack, not ship weapons, which is really what we need to see. The Hydras coming on in. Neural Parasite going down on a battle cruiser. However, the Hydras do retreat from that, as there is more BCs coming in to save the day. BenBot does have the behavior to Yamato Cannon the Infestors, so it can save its own BCs, and it does a darn good job of that. So once again, a really good trade for BenBot. Base-wise, though, things are looking pretty darn good for EvilZoe, as it has secured the southern location its southern location. It's now even taken one of BenBot's northern locations, denying this location for BenBot. So at our current trajectory, there is potential for BenBot to run out of resources before EvilZoe. I mean, the golds are starting to mine out, the fourth mining out, so there's like maybe 2 bases left for BenBot. So eventually it will need to secure up another base, and we are seeing that. Base is floating on over, but man, look at this. EvilZoe non-stop with the attacks, and it is such good counterplay to the Terran's mass repair that it's so often the bane of Zergs to target down all the SCVs, and the Hydras with +3 attack do it super quick. However, we do see BenBot come in time to save this location. If that had died, that would have been a big blow. EvilZoe now on the retreat, and so well done by BenBot to respond to that attack. EvilZoe definitely the aggressor this game, almost losing an infestor there. It definitely is playing a little bit fast and loose with its infestors, as that one, they keep on burrowing in the face of danger. It's like that siege tank will go down. The rest of the Terran army is coming south. However, the battle cruiser count currently up to 9, so that is growing and growing. And here we see a big move by BenBotBC's teleporting on in, killing off the one spore crawler there. Anything at this base will be deleted by that laser battery. Potentially another base of EvilZoe going down. Both bots have a decent bank, however, losing that base is a big blow to the red Zerg. In comes the battle cruisers. Their teleport is off cooldown, and so they will actually die committing to this attack. At least 2 of them do perish, so that is not a free attack by BenBot, as teleporting in those BCs is risky. If that third would have died, that would have been nice for Zoe. However, we do see BenBot securing up yet another base. It managed to keep this one alive, and this game is actually surprisingly close as far as the momentum's concerned. We are seeing EvilZoe potentially plan on another attack. I believe some of these BCs still going to be on cooldown with their teleports, so there is potential for them to be killed off. Looks like they are being chased away, though. An attempt to reestablish that base being shut down. The Hydras are having a hard time standing against the BCs now, as the overall army is just not it for EvilZoe. When it's attacking all over the place, it's good. When it's head-on against siege tanks and battle cruisers, it is not. BenBot has been so good with constantly resecuring its bases, and out goes a Raven. Will it kill off that Ling? Yes, it shall. That Ling didn't even bother burrowing. And yeah, look at this. The BCs, even without significant upgrades, trade so darn well against Hydras, and this is why you need lots of spellcasters to support them. That BC comes off cooldown, almost gets neural parasited again, however escapes, and so the resources lost are just looking really darn good for BenBot here. 56k lost for EvilZoe, just 30k for BenBot, and as a result, time is on BenBot's side for now. We'll see if EvilZoe can pick off another base, potentially swing momentum in its favor. The Marines are not going to do well against the Hydras. Even with their 3-3 upgrades, the Hydras are just too darn good. SCVs are being killed off by these Hydras. Infestors going down once again. I think the Infestors have been a big weakness for EvilZoe. We are seeing the Hydras closing the distance on this planetary. They will kill it off. And so the attacks on the Hydras, the high DPS of them, is really good with the targeting on the SCVs, but then fights like this happen, and all the Hydras go down when they could have escaped. And so, BenBot still trading out much better than its opponent. EvilZoe killing off the odd base here and there. Momentum hasn't quite swung in its favor, and it needs to be able to, say, kill off a base and take a base of BenBot if it's going to win this game. Denying them is good, but we all know BenBot will eventually get those bases up. See, another command center building away, and the BC fleet is currently still sitting at 9. EvilZoe is actually just running away from them, as, yeah, it doesn't have quite the best anti-BC behavior with the Infestors. Like, I think if the Infestors get worked on a little bit for EvilZoe, it will be looking so darn good. We're seeing Fungals go down. Not really any Neural Parasites securing the kills on the BCs this game. Only 3 have died. 2 in that Kamikaze teleport attack. And as a result, EvilZoe just hasn't been getting the efficiency that it needs. It is closing in with the Hydras now, picking off some of the siege tanks. The Marines definitely are a weak point as far as the efficiency goes for BenBot, as they just get killed off with ease by the Hydras. The BCs, though, are the problem. How many kills does this guy have? 31. If I click on any number of these BCs, they will be looking pretty darn scary. Looks like EvilZoe does hold on a little bit longer. We take a look at the bank, though. It's looking mighty rough. This one Marine is shooting fish in a barrel. That is these drones that are just trying to go about their job. And we see a battlecruiser get neural parasited, but I don't think this one's going to get killed off. EvilZoe doesn't target them in time, and so there we go. It's off cooldown, and as a matter of fact, it can just run away. We are seeing EvilZoe try and break this base. Hydras are closing the distance, targeting down the SCVs. However, EvilZoe is really darn broke now, so it's going to have a hard time replacing this. BenBot's still got a big bank to its name, and I think we are seeing what happens when a Zerg fails to kill the Terran, fails to take one of its bases. And how many kills does this Marine have? 5 right now. A couple of Lings are coming on in to save the day. However, they are going elsewhere. They're like, nope, see you later. And the BCs for BenBot aren't just looking so darn great. The Infestors, really the big letdown of this game is this guy's just like, yeah, alright, eat that, battle cruisers. It's a fungal growth. You ever heard of that? Yeah, that does like 50 damage. Not even. It does like 20 damage. How much damage does fungal growth do? Oh, we can't see. Why does it not prompt fungal growth when I click on the infestor? That's bizarre. It's not a lot of damage. Oh, it's because it's burrowed, that's why. Pardon me. Yeah, so EvilZoe played a fantastic game here today. Definitely going to cast more of its matches, knowing that it does have such great late game. I think if the Infestors had their behavior tweaked a little bit, I think it could definitely take on BenBot in a late game like this. However, we are seeing, like, the writing is on the wall. BenBot kept these bases up. It kept taking them out. How many planetaries were killed this game? 3 planetaries and another command center. 140 SCVs versus the 86 drones, but yeah, like this is the death spiral for the Zerg. Its own bases are starting to run out, so it's not mining much. Any harassment really messes with it. It never was able to take one of these bases. One more base taken for EvilZoe, and it could have won this game. But BenBot's efficiency on the BCs, it's too great. We need to see corruptors, or we need to see more targeting on the BCs. Like, there was neural parasites going down. However, the Hydras, like, they don't target them when they're neural parasited. I think that's a big mistake by EvilZoe's bot author. I understand why. You're like, oh, it's on my side. Why would I not kill it off? But when you're playing against a bot like BenBot, the important thing is to at least use the teleport when you neural parasite it, so the BC can't get away, or to target it down and kill it. So the behavior for EvilZoe really leaves a lot to be desired. There is a teleport. I think this BC just got yeeted into the bottom left, like, hey, just get this thing out of here, which is funny enough. That's one way to go about it as the bot author, but I think using the teleport, every neural parasite first should be the priority. And yeah, what a great game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it all the way to the end of this one, as EvilZoe is still putting up a fight, 87 supply, not mining too much though. As yeah, if you enjoyed this one, you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button, help us get to that 10K mark. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. If you're a bot author and you have awesome games that your bot has played, send them my way. I'll happily cast them. Leave a comment, leave a like, as it is just a slow death here for EvilZoe, unfortunately. BenBot may be eyeing up this base. Once these larvae are killed off, the 10 armor larvae, not taking much damage from BCs. There's the big teleport. And yeah, EvilZoe played a great game here today, though. Honestly, better than I thought it would. As I think of EvilZoe just like against turtle bots, like the attack's just failing. That's the impression I had on my mind. But a lot of the attacks did work, so it was great. The Ling run-bys, not so much. I mean, they did kill off quite a few of the SCVs, but the problem is SCVs are always made by a bot like BenBot. And slowly, the Terran Armada will clear out EvilZoe. There's the neural parasites going down, the last infestor perishing. And there goes EvilZoe. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.